Hey, shalom y'all, it's Fletch. Welcome back to OTH. What we are looking at today here on the workbench is Kobalt's new LED. I would call it a lantern or a work light. I think in the item description that Lowe's has on theirs, they call it like a 1700 lumen spotlight or something like that. But anyways, you know, it is 1700 lumens, but you know, it doesn't have a real focused beam like a flashlight or a spotlight or something like that. You know, it's more of you know, your stereotypical work light like this, right? Like this old Ace here, and you know, 250 watt halogen light bulb. And the light output on this is definitely on par, you know, with the 250 watt halogen light bulb. And you know, I would show you the difference here in the garage or whatever, but you know, honestly, with the camera, it doesn't pick up those nuances anyways. I've done, you know, flashlight reviews and tactical art reviews and tried to show the difference, and you can't tell. So anyways, so if you're wondering, there you go. But you know, I can tell you from experience that, you know, it's on par with, you know, a 200 to 250 watt. It's not on par with the 500, right? But it is certainly with a 200 or 250. This light has a lot of nice features that I like, and as you can see, you know, I've definitely been using it. I left it all muddy from its initial voyage, so to speak. Working in a muddy crawl space recently to track down a wiring short in my kitchen lights. And a couple of the benefits of this light that I really like is that, one, there's no cord, obviously, you know, so you don't have to worry about, you know, when you're dragging it through a crawl space or something like that, it coming unplugged and whatnot, or, you know, the cord getting bound and hung up on something. Especially, you know, if you're once you got in and you're backing out, right? And if you've done that a lot with a corded work light, you know what I'm talking about. But so there's that, and then also something to think about is when you've had a light like this plugged in for 4 or 5 hours, this thing is crazy hot. And if you roll over and like accidentally touch something like this, it's gonna burn the you know what out of you, and you're definitely gonna know about it. And this light here from Kobalt, the engineers, in my opinion, you know, they thought it through well. And here's what I'm talking about. Let me kind of get this in a better view for you. You see this? This isn't just a cool, you know, design so that it looks cool, because me personally, I do think it looks cool. But those are actually cooling fins. This gray area is all part of the heat sink. You know, anytime you've got, you know, a 1700 lumen LED, you're putting out some heat coming off that thing. And so it's kind of like the outside casing of this is a cooling fin for the light. And you know, in my experiences, after having used it, you know, for like 4.5 hours one day, it was definitely warm, but not so hot that it would burn you. I mean, if you touch it, you would definitely go, oh wow, okay, that's hot. But you know, not like this, right? and you know, you could definitely touch it, and you know, it wouldn't burn you, but you know, you definitely know it's hot. So anyways, a couple other nice features about this is the head, you know, fully rotates back and forth. The stand is collapsible, you know, and it'll rotate back and forth however you want it. And then also it does have the mounting holes for your different stands that you might have for your work lights, you know, that typically would hold a light like this, right? So you know, it could be used in that capacity. It has 2 light settings. There's a really bright, there's just a little bit dimmer, and then there's off. So I think in the item description that they say that it has 3 settings. So I guess, you know, it's high, it's not really low, it's high, lower, and off. A couple of things that you know, just in my initial impressions of this product, there's two constructive criticisms that I could give this product. The first is that, you know, the high is nice. It's very bright. The next is it's not half, right? It's just a little bit less, or at least that's certainly what it looks like. And then there's off. For me personally, what I would like to see is I would like to see a low light, you know, low power consumption setting. So if I'm in an environment that, you know, it's really hard to get in and out of, and I don't need, you know, the full 1700 lumen burn on this, I could turn it down to its lowest setting. You know, it might be able to last me all day or something like that. Instead of, you know, just, you know, full tilt or just a little bit less. And then secondly, you know, just from my experiences again, but you know, the engineers at Kobalt, if you're listening, what I would recommend, I mean, great job on your first rendition of this tool. I mean, yeah, so far I love this tool. I use it regularly. As a matter of fact, I just used it the other day in this fashion to, you know, light up the wiring on a light fixture that I was replacing at night. I've also used it to help light up a dark area where I was putting knobs on a dresser, you know, different things like that. It's a very handy, very useful light. But having said that, the second constructive criticism that I could give is that as someone that was in a very tight spot in a crawl space, it would be nice if you had some warning that the light was about to go out. And you know, I'm definitely, you know, part of the always prepared crowd, right? So I had my you know, MacLeod solitaire in my pocket, so, you know, I had a way out, so to speak. But it would be nice if it flashed, like, you know, maybe 5 or 10 times or something like that, you know, when you're getting close to the end of your battery life. Now, speaking of battery life, from my experiences, what I got was about 4.5 hours on the larger 4 amp hour battery, and a 2 and change, something like 2 hours and change on the 2 amp hour batteries. And Kobalt reports about 5 hours on their 5 amp hour battery as well. So, you know, that would seem to, you know, fit in with that as well. And a couple of things, you know, just real quick, if you're new to the Kobalt line, you know, this is 24 volt max. And the reason why this really is a 24 volt max system is because most of the other competitors, they have, you know, 2 series in parallel of 5, you know, going across 18650 lithium ion cells. But these Kobalt batteries actually have 6. And so you're getting a little bit more power that's being delivered to the tool, number 1, and then 2, you should have a little bit more capacity as well, or work time. Because of that, you know, in a 4 amp hour battery, you've actually got 2 additional cells in there. In the 2 amp hour batteries, you have 1 additional 18650 cell. So there it is, guys. So far, I really like this light. You know, as someone that's getting, you know, a little bit of gray in their beard, right? You know, you need some extra light from time to time, because it just, you know, you just don't see as well as what you used to. And so I'm finding this is a very handy light to have around and keep around when I'm working on projects, to just help light up things so I can see easier as well. Well, thanks for joining me today, guys. If you have any questions or comments, as always, leave them below. Thanks for watching. I hope you're having a blessed and wonderful day. We will talk to you soon. Shalom.